This is Rick Rule for Rule Investment Media, sponsors of the 2024 Natural Resources Investment Symposium, held July 7 through 11 in Boca Raton, Florida, or in the comfort and convenience of your own home via live stream. Please note that in the 4 days of the conference, we'll present between 50 and 60 hours of educational and profitable programming, more than you could absorb during the 4 days of the conference. So, two things. The proceedings of the conference, whether you attend live or live stream, will be recorded. You can and should review the material several times so that you manage to extricate all of the value that you possibly can from the conference. And we will interview every exhibitor and every speaker at the conference before the conference so that you can familiarize yourself with those people and with those offerings and maximize your time at the conference. It is possible and recommended that you reach out to the exhibitor and learn more about the exhibitor before the conference so that you can use the four days that you have during the conference to your best possible advantage. Note further that unlike any other investment conference that I'm aware of on the planet, every public company exhibitor has been vetted by me. I own shares in every public company investment issuer, either in my own account or in accounts owned and managed by myself. While my ownership, sadly, does not guarantee that the share prices go up necessarily, it does guarantee that the process is honest and on your behalf. For this process today, I have Jason Kosec, CEO of Integra Gold. Jason, thank you, first of all, for your efforts on behalf of shareholders, myself included, and thank you for your sponsorship of the Natural Resources Investment Symposium.
Well, thanks for your support, Rick, and thank you very much for having me on and invited to the show.
Jason, tell me something about your background and the background of the other founders and key shareholders at Integra. Why should we care what you have to say? What have you done that gives us some comfort that what you do on our behalf now will have value?
Yeah, so for myself, from the very beginning, I'm actually a structural geologist by trade. So my first project that I worked on, I was the exploration manager of Trelawney, which was the Kosec gold deposit, which is now the third largest gold deposit in Canada. It is owned by IAMGOLD. Subsequent to that, I was with the IAMGOLD development team working through Africa and Latin America and Suriname. Then I was recruited by Eric Sprott, your good friend, and Mr. Sean Rusin after they took over the Barkerville project, which is a structural nightmare. But really wrote that resource off and built it back up to 7.8 million ounces and going into production today. After that, it went out of Sean Rusin's very large shadow and built Millennial Precious Metals. And 2 years into that, merged it with Integra Resources, creating the largest gold and silver resource endowment that's not owned by a major in the Great Basin. You know, the Great Basin, for your listeners out there, if it was a geological province, would be the fifth largest gold producer globally. That's my background. George, the founder of Integra, also founder of Integra 1.0, which was Integra Gold with Steve DeJong. Over 25 plus years running public companies, was a corporate development guy with Placer Dome. So very technical and capital markets expertise. We have Butch Otter on the board, who's the 12-year governor of Idaho. Eric Tremblay, who built Canadian Malartic, Canada's largest gold mine, and a number of other talented people that really round out the team.
So tell us about the focus assets. Tell us about the prize.
Yeah, so our flagship asset is the Delamar project located in southwestern Idaho. So currently it's at a PFS level. Right now we're looking at $1,700 gold when it was run, 314 million of NAV, 33% IRR. When you run those at spot prices, you're looking at over 470 million and 47% IRR. But what the market isn't really paying attention to, there's about really you're looking at, in the stockpiles that we drilled off last year, another 500,000 ounces. So the number that's driving the 314 is about 81 million tons. In our updated resource that includes the stockpiles gives you another 42.5 million tons. So it's a significant increase in the payable ounces. That'll have a significant positive impact to the feasibility that will be coming out in Q4 of this year. What we also have kicking, sorry, go ahead, Rick.
No, go. Yeah.
What we have in as our other project, it's an exploration stage project. It's our Nevada North project that was part of Millennial. What that's at is we did a PEA last year. What we really strongly believe is before you execute the SUDS program, which is the shut up and drill stupid, is you need to understand a few things before you allocate a bunch of exploration dollars. And what that is what's your metallurgy, what your kinematic controls and mineralization is, what really how big can this get, what your geotech is, and really show the market that this is the base case. Now that we fully understand all of those key inputs, now we can throw the drill bit to it. So right now that project, 310 million NAV, 37% IRR, produces just over 1 million ounces, 13-year mine life. But the important thing to note, Rick, is that that project, given the permitting process in Nevada, has only been drilled on 5 acres. So now we've gone from 5 acres to 400 acres. So now we can properly explore the entire district. And while we've already removed all the key risk, which is what's your conversion, what's your metallurgy, what's your geotech, and what your kinematic controls are. So it's going to be an exciting time from the exploration side out of Nevada and from the kind of the development side in Idaho.
So let's do a high level sum of the parts. We have a pre-feasibility study up at Delamar that at current gold prices runs well over $400 million. We have a preliminary economic assessment in Nevada that's over $300 million. In both cases, we are looking at a catalyst going forward in terms of increasing them, but let's leave that for a later part of the discussion. Right now, you have indications of a $700 million discounted net present value. What's the market cap of Integra? How much are you paying for this $700 million?
Yeah, that's a good point. So between the two at spot prices right now, you're just shy of 900 million of NAV. Right now at current share price, all in US dollars, we're sitting at about 70 million US.
Pretty good value proposition. Now,
Yeah.
let's talk about near-term catalysts. By catalysts, I mean better understanding of both deposits. In the case of Delamar, as I understand it, you're proceeding to a feasibility study, which presumably is in anticipation of putting it in production. I am assuming, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to leave my listeners with the wrong information, that this feasibility study will include a new reserve and resource statement as a consequence of the drilling that you've done and the condemnation drilling. And I would assume now that you've done the base case work with the Nevada project, that you will be presenting at least an updated PEA or perhaps a PFS. Am I correct in all of those assumptions?
Yeah, so you'll have a new reserve for sure at Delamar that'll feed into the feasibility. Right now, going from the PEA stage, we really need to understand the size of the deposit. And it's going to take us at least a year of drilling. And what we would contemplate is going right from a PEA to a fees. But if it gets significantly bigger, we're just going to keep on letting the drills turn to get to the full kind of size potential.
And in Nevada?
Yeah, sorry, in Nevada, we would let the drills run
Got it.
just to see how big we'll get. So Delamar, you'll have your feasibility with your new reserves coming out in Q4. Nevada, drills are going to get turned on so we can understand how big this thing is going to be. It's going to take us a year to do that. It's a pretty simple project, so we might push it right from a PEA right to an FS, but if it gets substantially bigger, well, it's going to change the whole scope of the project, and you might just have to do an updated PEA, and that's probably the best thing that you'd want to see.
Understand absolutely, completely. Jason, if people, our attendees, by the way, our attendees are pretty gold centric, want to learn more, who at the company might they contact, and how might they contact this person?
You can contact me directly. So on CEO.ca, my tag or whatever it's called is ITR13. My email is my name, so jason.kosec at integraresources.com. And I always tell people, pick up the phone and call me, and you can reach me anytime. I will speak to anyone. Number is 250-552-7424.
Jason, thank you for your efforts on behalf of shareholders, myself, of course, included. Thank you, too, for your sponsorship and support of the Natural Resources Investment Symposium. I look forward to hosting you in Boca Raton, and I look forward to your interchange with our attendees.
Thank you very much, and looking forward to it as well, Rick.